Sorry, how do you say Woodbridge? How do you do it? You do it like that.
Woodbridge.
I don't know, you say it differently.
But a little rusty.
Yeah. So, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. Not too far from here, right?
Right? Ooh.
Yeah, right. But I grew up actually on a farm, believe it or not, on the eastern shore of Maryland. And people always, you know, not only did I grow up on a farm, but I also grew up in a Pentecostal church. Yes? Anybody familiar with Let me see who's familiar with the Pentecostal churches out there. See, they know how to raise their hand. They're like, hallelujah. So the Pentecostal church is a crazy kind of church. You know, we never had boring services. It was people running the aisles, the white hankies. And so my brothers and I, we loved going to church. But people always ask me, why in the world did you stay in the Pentecostal church? You know, especially, you know, dealing with the issues you were dealing with. Why didn't you run when you could? And I always say it was actually the rules of the church that made me want to stay in the Pentecostal church. And the first rule was, you know, something that I remember learning in Sunday school class. It was there'd be no drinking or smoking, and I was like, oh, that's no problem. I want to sing when I grow up, so I don't want to ruin my voice and all of that. But then the next rule was that there'd be no dancing. And when there was no dancing allowed, I kind of was a little concerned about this because I wasn't a good dancer, but my favorite movie growing up was Xanadu. And I loved roller skating. And so my first thought was, oh my gosh, does roller skating, is that like the same as dancing? So I raised my hand and I asked my teacher, you know, is roller skating dancing? And he looked at me like he had never been asked that question before. And so he just looked at me and he said, well, son, that's between you and God. And I thought, well, they don't call us